Hello, my Basset Hound friends and my sexum pie cuties. Mark the Punk Gamer, a.k.a. Markapunk here. And yes, I'm doing another ranking video, and it's part of my horror extras. I'm actually going to be ranking the Jasons, including Pamela Voorhees, worst to best, all throughout the Friday the 13th franchise. And there's going to be both versions of one movie, which is Jason X, and a couple of them from the remake, as far as I can remember. There's a lot of different versions that are actually in the final product of the finished movie, versions of them. And goddamn, I'm looking forward to excited to rank all the Jasons, including Pam Voorhees, which I will include. Some people don't include Pamela Voorhees for some reason. I'm going to put her in this ranking anyway. So, all 14 ranked worst to best. And here we go. Let's kick this son of a bitch off. My number 14th least favorite Jasons out of all the Friday the 13th movies is going to go to Friday Part 2. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Part 2 Jason, to be honest. This is like the early precursor Jason when they're trying to figure out how Jason is yet. Until he gets the iconic mask from Part 3. But, yeah, this is definitely my least favorite Jason out of the 14, the one I picked. And it's played by Warrington Gillette. And, it's not that scary to me. But, nothing memorable. Unless the mask has been taken off. It has an ugly-ass face at the end. That's pretty scary. That's all I can think of. But overall, he's a complete fucking dumbass in this movie. I don't get this version of Jason at all. But the kills are worth it, though, if you don't see the killer overall. My number 14 spot, unfortunately, is going to Friday Part 2. My number 13, shocking it's number 13, which is Friday 13th, on this spot, is actually, prepare to be surprised, Pamela Voorhees from the original Friday 13th. Yeah, she's my second least favorite slasher villain, but the original movie is really my least favorite out of all these movies, to be honest. I really didn't like the first film at all. There's some good things about Pamela Voorhees. She's psychotic, I get it. She's a psychotic Jason's mother. I mean, really, that's the only good thing about it. Really, really fucking psychotic. And that's a cool thing. Couple of kills are actually pretty good in this movie overall, but she's my second least favorite out of all the Jasons. But yeah, my number 13 spot, which is gonna go to Pamela Voorhees. My number 12 spot for me in this ranking is gonna be Part 5 Jason. Yeah, this is my third least favorite. This is the Roy Burns Jason, the copycat Jason. They try to do the same idea from the first film, but rinse and repeat. Yeah, Roy Burns Jason, it's really boring performance by him. I can't take it seriously. Jesus Christ. This is the most unmemorable Jason out of all of them. It's like, once he gets to the end, it's like, what the fuck, who's this guy at the end? It's like a Scooby-Doo reveal when it pops his face. When he fell into the tractor spikes at the end of the movie. Really ridiculous. But, yeah, the Roy Burns Part 5 Jason is really my least favorite. It could have been in my way bottom, but it's at my third bottom for me. Number 12 spot is going to be Friday Part 5 Jason. My number 11 for me is going to be Friday Part 8 Jason. Yeah, this one. Oh fucking boy, this one. This version I like to call is Wet Ass Jason. Because he's fucking moist throughout the whole movie. He never dries off at least once throughout the whole movie. And I'm not the biggest fan of the piss yellow colored mask, to be honest. Not a fan. It's still being played by Kane Hodder, of course. I know why everybody loves the Kane Hodder era of Jason. But He's not terrible or anything. He's just not my favorite. The couple of things that are positive about this version of Jason, when he walks around Big Apple with that awesome scene, really good scene, by the way, awesome. And he punches Julius's head off clean, which is fucking awesome kill. Other than that, this is still my bottom of the Jasons I do not like. Jesus Christ. So my number 11 spot, I have to give it to Friday Part 8 Jason. Number 10 for me is going to be Final Friday Jason. Or I'm going to call this version the Deadite Jason. Yeah, you heard me say it. I'm going to call it the Deadite Jason. When it's being controlled by this weird ass worm demon thing that's inside of him. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. He looks like a moldy ass piece of meatball with the mask being really embedded into him. God damn, this version of Jason sucks. But everything that's only negative about him, but the kills are actually pretty fucking good in this movie. And excluding that horrible looking Jason in Final Friday. But oh boy, I know some people like this one, like this version of Jason, but not me. Again, played by Kane Hodder. And he turns into this weird ass worm demon rat thing out of nowhere, which is kind of strange for the Friday the 13th franchise. And most people dislike this one with grudgingly hate off of this one. Yeah, this one's weird. This one's weird. But my number 10 for me is definitely Final Friday Jason. My number 9 spot for me is going to be Freddy vs. Jason. The Ken Kersinger one. Yeah, I have to admit, he has a boring ass performance and he's kind of robotic. I like to call him the dopey version of Jason in this one. That still bothers me to this day when I watch this. I've watched this all the time and I did realize that. He's just the dopiest version of Jason. But he's average to me as a Jason. Have a lazy ass performance, the movements, the kills, whatever. A couple of kills are actually pretty good. When he sliced that one dude in half is pretty cool. Jason gets all the damn kills in Freddy vs. Jason movie. That son of a bitch. But one kill is cool though, overall. But it's just an average Jason portrayal played by Ken Kersinger overall. And my number 9 spot is gonna be Freddy vs. Jason. Number 8 in this spot for me is actually going to be Jason X, the beginning version of Jason, when he isn't Uberized yet. This one is kind of decent for Jason, but it's the same kind of look that's in Part 7, but it's in an early 2000s look. Because the mask is so thick in this one. It has the Part 7 mask look, but the chevron on the triangle is a bit smaller. But it's a thicker version of that without the loose jaw thing on here. So it's like a revamped version of the early 2000s of Part 7 Jason. But things cool about this version, kills are pretty good in the beginning. Awesome. I do enjoy that, by the way. Again, played by Ken Kersinger. Not Ken Kane Hodder. Blah. Still being played by Kane Hodder for the last time, sadly, in this movie. But it's alright. It's in the middle of my ranking. And it's going to be at my number 8 spot, which is Jason X at the beginning stage of the movie. I'm actually going to follow that up with it at my number 7, which is Uber Jason. This is the most ridiculous looking Jason ever in the middle of my ranking. But it's actually freaking cool at the same time because of the red eyes. They're actually pretty cool. But those red eyes actually remind me of Nightmare from Soul Calibur 2. That's why I kind of like it a little bit. That's why I'm mixed on it. It's really cool. It's like a metalized version of Jason. Terminator Jason, a.k.a. But I can have a ridiculous time with this version of Jason. But the red eyes are fucking cool though. And it's at the middle of this ranking. It's alright. My number 7 spot is going to be Jason X Uber Jason. And it's now coming in at my number 6 spot, which is actually Friday Part 3 Jason. There you go. This is when Jason gets his iconic clean-ass mask for the very first time, and it's in the third movie in the franchise. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Yeah, this is where the original hockey mask originally came from in this movie, in the 3D movie. I wasn't the biggest fan of that 3D movie, to be honest. There's some good things about it. Some of the kills are pretty good in that movie. Everything else is just a trudge to get through the actual good shit. But, yeah, the original OG Jason with the iconic mask, how can you not like it? Like, seriously, it's the cleanest looking version of it. So, my number 6 for me is actually going to be Friday Part 3 Jason. Alright, my number 5 spot for me is actually going to be Friday Part 6 Jason. Yeah, I was actually mixed about this betrayal of Jason in Part 6. The Jason Lives. The reason I'm mixed about it because it must be the skinny ass version of Jason to me. That's what puts me off a little bit. He's still good in the role, don't get me wrong. He has a utility belt like a freaking superhero. I guess it's decently cool for this version of Jason with a fence post spear with him. Pretty iconic. And the mask is different in this one. This is the first appearance of the undead Jason, which is awesome. And yeah, it's the reason it's at my number 5. But I can still have a good time with this version of Jason, but it's a little off-putting for me sometimes. Still good, nonetheless. My number 5 spot is going to be Jason from Part 6. Alright, my best hound friends and my sexy pie cuties, these are my top 4 favorite Jasons out of all 14 of them. This might surprise you, and I'm really excited to tell you which of these top 4 actually really are. Here we go. My number 4 spot, which is the Friday the 13th remake of Sackhead Jason. I really like this version more than Part 2, which is at my bottom. This is a lot better in the remake. I like how dirty the Sackhead look is a lot better than dirtied up. And it's more menacing looking than Part 2's. Really menacing. I like this version, Sackhead version in the remake. It's so much better. And I do enjoy this first part of Jason in the beginning of the remake. Really cool. He's just out there killing shit in the campfire site. Awesome shit. Hanging that bitch on top of the in the fire. Awesome. Kick-ass beginning of it, by the way. Awesome. But overall, awesome version of Sackhead Jason in the remake, in my opinion. Number 4 spot, I'm going to give it to Friday Remake Sackhead. My number 3 bronze medal spot for my most favorite Jason is weirdly Part 7 Jason. Yes, this is the more zombie look of this Jason. This is the first time that's actually played by Kane Hodder. I really like the spine that comes out of his back and shit. This is the coolest version of Jason. But overall in Part 7, they neutered the shit out of the kills. Which, fuck you, MPAA. But, this version of Jason looks cool, but you made him almost into a skeleton of the kills. That's what kills it for me. But this version of the zombie Jason in Part 7 is actually really goddamn cool in this one. And you see the jaw that's in the cut of the mask as well. With the chain necklace. Goddamn, this is a badass version of Undead Jason in this one. I really like this version of Jason. So my number 3 bronze medal spot, I have to give it to Friday Part 7 Jason, played by Kane Hodder. My number 2 silver medal spot for my most favorite Jason is actually the Friday remake Jason. Yes, this is the 2009 remake of Jason that I made it all the way to the top of my ranking. This version of Jason is so badass. Played by Derek Mears, by the way. Awesome Jason. Perfect role for Jason to play by Derek Mears. Awesome. This is the most menacing version of Jason in the remake. Yes, I did watch the killer cut, which I have. And, goddamn, the kills are so much... They're really good in this movie. I do approve. So, the remake of Jason looks badass in this one. And, the mask is a lot different than the past films. And, that's all I have to say about it. This is my favorite Jason in the remake, in 2009 remake. Played by Derek Mears. Badass version of Jason. I approve. So my number 2 cinema winner, I have to give it to Friday Remake Jason. I had to. And my number 1, my most favorite Jason out of all 14 of them, and it's the gold medal winner. This might be the most obvious one, and it's going to Friday Part 4. Yes, this is my most favorite Jason out of all of them, and it's actually my favorite sequel out of all these Friday the 13th movies. The final chapter. Oh man, there's a lot of good things about this version of Jason. All the kills are entertaining. This is Friday Part 4 is the darkest movie in the franchise, which I do approve. My favorite of all time. And this is just my most favorite version of Jason. That's all I have to say about it. Yeah, in the beginning, he just cracks the guy's neck, twists his neck 180 degrees in the beginning of that movie. Pretty awesome setup for it, for the final chapter. Not really a final chapter, but this is my most favorite Jason. That's all I have to say about it. My number 1 gold medal winner is absolutely my favorite Jason from Friday 4, Jason. And there you go. I ranked all the Jasons, including Pamela Voorhees, in the ranking. Worst to best. And, holy crap, I finally got done with this. Since I already ranked the Freddys, I've already ranked the Jasons with Pamela. And, I'm finally done with the horror extra content. And, I'm looking for more things to come, which I'm excited about. And, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Subscribe to me if you have not. Click the bell to get notified of all of my notifications. Make sure you like and share of the ranking of all the Jasons plus Pamela Voorhees, worst to best, so I get more views and more subscribers. And I will see you, my best sound friends, and my sexy pie cuties on my next video. See you later.